And then welcome back to the Dota 2 Online Invitationals.
Dreamhack.
I'm changing it around. I'm keeping it fresh and funky.
You know, you yelled at me the other day for doing that.
You bashed Andy
the first thing
yesterday.
he says.
Mike came down and he was like, and I was like, Scriff wanted chocolate, and then I was like, I'll do Mike a favor, and I was like, Mike, can you get Scriff's chocolate so he can observe?
This is what James does, okay? Yesterday, we go upstairs. He's not even wearing a fucking shirt. He's wrapped in like a towel, and he goes, you know, you really should call it Dreamhack, Invitational, Dota 2, or whatever every single time, not confuse people. Make
I'm
it sound
keeping it
professional. And now he does it, what I did yesterday.
I had a great recovery, man.
And then he's like,
Just
you know what?
outed me.
It's totally fine.
You know, he's not even high rated in Dota, right?
This is abuse.
Natalie plays his account, and it's like, and that's the only reason.
That's why I have so many CM games.
Yep.
Yes. All right.
Unbelievable.
We're already in the banter picks. It's the third game. Sing won your MVP of last match. Mini did it for Scriff. We'll see what you guys think will happen in the third matches. We'll probably do a poll at some point because that's the cool thing. We do polls. When are we getting instant replays, by the way? Because it's a shit. Trance.
We will at some point.
Right, we're going to get instant replays at some point when we're rich enough, apparently. All right, then, so let's go into the bands and picks, and of course I'm going to ask the very knowledgeable guy that's with us at the studio. Bruno, what do you make of the current state here?
Well, pretty standard bands, and Face and Draskell is really, really fun. So
He's fishing right now.
yeah.
He's AFK.
Draskell, you have been replaced. Sorry.
That's okay. Take it away. I'm ready.
No, it's fine. We're talking about bans. Pretty standard. It's clear Team Liquid is still banning the Wisp. They did that in the first game as well. They did not do that in the second game because they wanted to try it themselves. It's not working for them. Clearly, they don't want it against them.
I
They're banning the Nyx as well.
wonder if it's because like they've scrimmed earlier and Red Pandas have played Wisp against them
Yes.
and been successful. Because yesterday we didn't see Wisp banned out
No.
that much.
No? No, it's cool,
Certain
isn't the
teams
case.
value some heroes, certain other teams value some others. But I mean, all in all, pretty standard first bans. We see the Bad Rider, we see the Keeper of the Light for the QPAD Red Pandas and the Wisp and Nyx. And we see a first pick Magnus. That leaves... who's left?
Demon,
Yeah, Shadow
Darkseer.
Demon, Darkseer is probably two of the strongest picks right now. And other than that, well, we know the QPAD Red Pandas, they did favor the Storm Spirit. They might want to secure that in the first phase if they don't want to risk it getting banned in the future. But anyways, the opportunities are really open. The good thing about the Magnus, starting with the Magnus, is that you can put it in the off lane, you can put it in the mid lane. Normally right now, because of Skewer being nerfed a few months ago, it's not such strong off laner as he used to be. But he still can be played there. He can even play in the... I've even seen Magnus being played in the tri lane. So pretty open starting move.
Hasn't he even been played as a support recently?
Oh yes,
By
some
Navi, I
teams
think.
try to play it as support. I'm
Fuck,
not
man.
sure I agree.
Draskell, we could just go home. They got
Yeah.
this.
You got any more chocolate over there?
Yeah, I actually do.
Oh,
What?
chocolate.
Yeah, but if you want some, Scriff, you're not allowed to miss first blood or something, okay?
Right.
Throw it to me.
Yeah. There you go. Right.
Well, if he loses it, I will.
I'll have to.
So the Red Pandas taking their sweet time to make their first two picks. I think these two picks are really, really important to them because whatever they pick, they will base their teams around that. And James also almost dies of a chocolate concussion.
It's true. It's true. Having a bad day today. Some people are throwing chocolate at me. Someone photoshopped Toby's face onto Zoe, onto me next to Zoe. That's sacri-fucking-ligious, by the way. I know where that came from. I know what website started that. No, I'm not going to name names. But I will find you.
Anyway,
Actually, no,
yeah,
I
you're
won't.
pointing at the camera.
Yeah,
and
no
I
one
can
can
tell
see you pointing at the camera, bud.
Back to the
They
game.
can feel.
Yeah. Rubik's Shadow Demon.
disappointment.
Most likely two support heroes. I'm trying to be serious. There you go. Yeah. Boxes. Rubik's Shadow Demon, normally two support heroes. Either of those can be played in the mid position, but lately Shadow Demon hasn't been played in mid position since half last year. And Rubik, less and less played, even though Sing Sing really liked to play him in the mid position. Anyways, the good thing about these two supports is that they're really, really defensive. Both of them have stuns or way to actually disrupt the channeling spell or stop an enemy in its tracks, even though Shadow Demon's disruption is not technically a stun. But none of them deal damage, neither the lift nor the disruption deal immediate damage, so they're considered kind of a weak support in an aggressive situation just because of the lack of burst damage at level 1. But once you get to level 2 and 3 and you get the Fate Bolts in level 2 and you get some Shadow Poison and Soul Catcher, they can quickly turn from being defensive into being very aggressive and win the tri lane by their own. On the other hand, we see we see Team Liquid and Luna picking Nature's Prophet and Luna. Nature's Prophet, yeah.
You're putting him out of a job, Bruno. Andy's just staring at me. He's fine with it. Bruno, you got this, man. I believe. Luna. Tell us about Luna.
Yeah, Luna. Really strong carry. Particularly interesting that they see Nature's Prophet and Luna because Luna favors normally the safe lane position without necessarily a support if you're going to run an aggressive trident, especially because with Ruvik Shadow Demon there's a high probability that the QPAD Red Pandas will be playing in the defensive trident. So if you can put Luna in that safe lane and just matching against whichever they want to put as an off lane, Luna pretty much wins most of those lanes. But the thing is that if you pick a Nature's Prophet fits that same role, sometimes in the safe lane, sometimes in the off lane. But the fact is that he's a solo that can jump into your tri lane. So that might be an indication that they want to play the Luna in a tri lane.
This is quite interesting actually. They pick up the Faceless Void and they have the Shadow Demon. Are Team Liquid gonna ban out Kunkka during the last ban phase?
Well, it didn't work for them in game 1, but there you go. That's nice. Good points, Griff. Yeah, the Kunkka being banned. I wouldn't be surprised if the Storm Spirit is banned as well. I mean, at this point, you have the 2 supports. You need to ban the mid heroes. Storm Spirit is a mid hero that they know that they can play. They also need an offlaner, but they don't really seem to care about because there are so many offlaners at the moment. And even if you try to ban Clockwork, Windrunner, and Brewmaster, there's always Beastmaster. There's always something to run there. So might not be a good investment to just spend that and just try to stop seeing from playing those comfortable heroes.
And QPAD Red Pandas, they're trying to get rid of a good supports now to go with Luna.
Right. And they banned the Visage because they remember them picking Visage on the...
Team Liquid is quite known for playing Visage.
Yeah, Fluff and Stuff was actually the first captain to consistently pick Visage when he was not picked at all in the scene. It was questioned at the beginning, but a couple of very, very good plays made him a somewhat popular pick right now in the European scene. The thing about Visage recently is that I think 2 weeks ago there was a fix where Gyrocopter would not damage the familiars with the flag cannon, which was huge because we see lots of teams picking Visage versus Gyrocopter, and Gyrocopter just has to press a button and it's instant 200 gold because those familiars are 1,000 range away and they still die to a couple or 3 last hits. So you see the Brewmaster ban. This is a ban directed to Select. Select has been known to play a very nice Brewmaster, and I just got distracted for some reason. But yeah, I mean, taking away those heroes that the QPAD Red Panda feel comfortable, and the same for Team Liquid. They're running the Undying. Undying is not a hero that we see a lot right now, but when you see it, it's mostly during Team Liquid's. When it's Team Liquid playing it. Finally, Quap ban, again, a ban directed at Sing. You won't have a Quap, you won't have Kunkka. You still can have the Storm Spirit if you want. But that Storm Spirit with the Chronosphere means that you have to time really well when you want to jump in, because if you have some lack of communication, you just jump into a Chronosphere from the Faceless Void, and you waste your burst, your initial surprise factor that the Storm Spirit can bring. It's 15 seconds until reserve time for the QPAD Red Pandas. They're going for that last ban, probably another support. What would you pick, Scriff, if you were Team Liquid?
If I were Team Liquid, I would get a Disruptor.
That Raptor?
Disruptor.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I've seen Team Liquid and Ix Mike actually favors Disruptor quite a bit.
Yep.
But we see the AA getting banned out last by Red Pandas. And yeah, I think they just their last 3 bans were directed at the aggressive tri-lane, I think. With the Luna and 2 supports. So yeah.
There are still a couple supports that are interesting to play. Not so many, but they're like, if they wanted to play Venomancer, they could.
The bans directed at Sing, Kunkka, and Queen of Pain leaves me somewhat to believe Magnus is gonna be mid. I don't know why, but
well, I mean,
and then Nature's Prophet off lane.
The thing is that if you don't put Magnus mid, then you have to put Nature's Prophet mid, and as you say, Magnus it's really hard for Magnus to win mid lane. But it's even harder for him to lose it. Because of battle crowing, because, I mean, you will have run control, but you're so tanky that no one can kill. And I called the Venomancer, and there it is.
Scriff called it a Disruptor. He's still in it.
Yeah. Let's see what you can do, Swift.
Just
Can you put it on my
wait and
level?
see. Wait
And
see.
I'm imagining that the QPAD Red Pandas will hold the mid spot for the last pick. And
Either
they'll
that
try
or a
go-
Lion.
Try to go for the selects.
What do you think about the Lion pickup from Team Liquid as the last one to counter the Faceless Void?
And the Storm Spirit is there. A Lion, I mean, in theory it's nice, but the problem with Lion is that at level 1 he brings a very, very short range stun with just a small duration, which is okay. You still have the Venomancer with the slow.
Don't forget, we still have Darkseer in the pool as well.
We still have Darkseer, but how? Well, yeah. I mean, you
Can
have
either
Darkseer
team
and
lane-
Clockwork actually for select.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Both heroes are really, really nice to go on that off lane. And if you leave them alone, they can just get quick level 6 in the case of Clockwork and just start ganking or getting lots of money and just buy quick mech, a pipe for Darkseer. It's interesting. Are you having fun, guys? Right in the main desk.
Call it!
There's the Lion. Wow. It's great
I
for
reckon
you.
Darkseer.
Darkseer, what do you think? I mean, it's. I know it's really bad, like
No,
trying to
Clockwork.
guessing.
I think everybody wants to see Mingles right
Yeah.
now.
Trans is
Mingles,
busy.
go away. She's gone. Trans, Mingles ate your
Andy,
pizza, by the way.
let's involve Andy. What do you think of these picks and bans?
I actually thought that Darkseer would have been better than Clockwork in this situation for Q Pandas, although if you get caught out by a Lion, Veno, and a Luna Trilane, if it is going to be defensive, which I haven't really seen if it is going to be or not, when you pick Veno, that hero has really good lane dominance at low level. Gale, even after the nerf, is still one of the best low-level abilities in the game, period. And if you land it on the support, it's not even a disruption, is going to be able to save them. And since the support that you are actually getting or helping farm is the Void, like, Void adds nothing to a tri-lane at all. So Liquid know that they can run this aggressive if they absolutely need to. Put Bulba in the safe lane for the second game in a row, be able to teleport whenever he needs to, and just get into fights, or excuse me, second game in the series. The first game is when they played the Nature's Prophet safe lane, when they were on Dire's side. But I'm a little bit concerned, actually, for Q Pandas, just because their damage output seems to be really, really low in the early stages of the game. Finding picks, I think, is going to be relatively hard for them. In the team fight, Liquid has RP. They obviously have the Eclipse as well coming out of the Luna. It's really, really strong, and being able to pick somebody very quickly with the Finger of Death and just the burst damage that they can also bring to bear is always going to be a threat on top of everything else. So we're going to have to see how the lanes work out. It doesn't look like they're going to be running an aggressive tri-lane, which I really thought they would. Maybe they were perhaps anticipating that Q Panda would, but that would be ridiculous because Void is like one of the worst aggressive tri-lane heroes in the game, and the only time we ever see that is when actually Faceless Void is partnered with a Venomancer, and that's something that the Chinese teams are more known for doing than other people. So we'll have to see, but I do kind of like the laning phase, the way it's shaping up to be a bit for QPAD, just because the Void is probably going to be getting free farm. But a lot of it's going to be down to what the supports can bring to.
All right, and you guys, who's got the best picks? And actually, Team Liquid edging this one out. That poll will be finishing in just a moment. But let's go over the who's playing what. Obviously, we can start with Sing and select. We'll go with Sing first. Thanks, Griff. Going to be playing Storm Spirit mid. Obviously, going to be going for a fast bottle, as you can see. Got 350 gold there. Select going to be on the Clockwork. Currently hanging out together. These guys are inseparable. Jarex and Mini. Mini going to be on the Rubik, Jarek's going to be on the Shadow Demon, and Wagger, of course, going to be playing the carry on Faceless Void. And it does, like it's just mentioned, going to be defensive tri-lane. So Sing's going to get a lot of, probably, you know, allows a lot of rotation for those supports on QPAD Red Pandas, which is what they want. On the other side, we've got Korak playing the Magnus, and as you can see, also going for a fast bottle there with 354 gold available. Fluff and Stuff going to be playing a Lion. With Earth Spike as his first skill. Obviously, IX Mike's then going to be playing the Venomancer, and TC, of course, on the Luna with his Ring of Protection for his lane. So we'll see what items he's going to go for. The nerf hasn't come in for the Tranquil Boots.
No,
hasn't come in yet. Okay, and Bulba is going to be playing Nature's Prophet, currently sitting in base. And you favour, was it Team Liquid or QPAD Red Pandas for the lanes?
I favor Q Panda's lanes just because in the late game, a sphere is like the great equalizer. Of course, Liquid have an ultimate of their own and the reverse polarity. It's going to be who gets the better initiation most of the time, and I do feel like Q Panda's initiation in general with Clockwork and Storm and a Chronosphere is going to be a little bit more menacing. They said the other day that they favor picking teams that have multiple threats, and I feel like they've done a pretty good job of doing that. However, Liquid are also going to be having a free farming Luna. They can apply very fast pressure to this tier 1 bottom because they are going to be partnering this tri-lane with a Venomancer. He can go for the early wards. They can get this tower much, much faster than I think QPAD is going to be able to respectively push top. So when you lose that map control that quickly, it opens up the supports and Fluff and IX Mike to move around the map, maybe penalize that Storm mid like they did a very good job of doing before, and realize that before he hits 6, he's essentially a free kill. If a Gale hits that hero, he is dead. Like, there is no way he can escape until he gets Ball Lightning.
And Korok gets an invisibility, and Mini does obviously have sentry wards. They do have a smoke with them as well. They already know that Wagamama is going to be pretty safe up top, so maybe looking to make something happen in the mid lane. And they're just going to check for the ward. Mini finds absolutely nothing. Korok, how safe is he really going to be once he opens up the fight here? So far, Jarex and Mini just wanting to leave mid lane. Bulba, once again, going to kind of boycott his lane on his Nature's Prophet, as he did last time, and just get a few levels in jungle to start with. And as you mentioned, bottom lane, TC, Veno, played by IX Mike, and also Fluff and Stuff on the line. That is a really fast pushing lineup. So a limited amount of time maybe for Red Pandas to make something happen while their supports are free. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to see how this game shapes out, and if that bottom lane is going to be as dominant for Team Liquid.
Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yes.
Bruno, can you do a poll and ask this chat what announcer they want?
Okay.
What are the options of
what are the
announcers?
options?
The option are Bastion or Pirate Captain.
Okay, easy.
Doubloons, man.
Or the normal one.
Doubloons. That's all you need. But I do favor a little bit the laning out of QPANdas right now. They can be very efficient with their supports. They have really nice defensive supports too. Shadow Demon and Rubik, two are the best that you're possibly going to get. And as long as they're paying attention, they know when the movement of the supports from Liquid starts to come out, you can very easily just buy yourself the time you need to make it to that mid-game phase. Make sure Sing gets to level 6 without getting ganked or anything silly. He doesn't necessarily need to dominate his lane. That's a nice thing about Storm. Ball Lightning is going to be just as menacing regardless of whether or not you have farm, because your initiation is going to be what you're used for more than anything else. So sure, if he gets free farm, gets a fast Orchid, that's going to be nice, but I don't feel like it's totally necessary here. Bottom lane Select actually going to be cut off here by Fluff. Not sure if he's going to be able to get the kill though.
He should be able to run back, and Select will get back to his tier 1 tower, safe. And also IX Mike has actually joined up in the center as Bastion wins the vote. There you go, Scriff, you happy?
Yeah.
Right. You've made his day. He felt involved. And IX Mike actually making mid lane very, very hard for Sing, as you mentioned before, Draskell. Before level 6, kind of very easy to kill gank and just the mobility of it. So Sing's going to have a tougher time. He does have his bottle out though. And actually, it is going to be Jarex that comes in. They're going to go straight for IX Mike. Nice pickup there by Mini. IX Mike will go down. Jarex running. Select actually in this fight as well. There's no mana on Korok. They're just going to have to right-click him down. Jarex, Select does have that double damage, but he's going to get taken out by Bulba, who comes in from the jungle and Fluff and Stuff. A little bit too late to the party, but his, he's still welcome. Either way, a 2-2 trade-off. First blood going to QPAD Red Pandas there, and Sing probably getting the better out of it, obviously, being the mid lane hero that survived, and Korok actually going down. But what do you make of the trade, Andy?
It was obviously in favor of QPANdas, like no doubt about it, especially considering they lost an offlane hero, but he wasn't really in the offlane anyway, so instead of just sitting down there and accomplishing a whole lot of nothing, he walked mid, managed to make a kill happen. They managed to kill Venomancer first, and then they got another kill on top of that. That was actually a really good exchange, considering the Prophet even TP'd in for that. So there was a reaction coming out of Liquid. Yeah, he came in, that's why Select died in the first place. He was getting hit while he was inside of Cogs, so everything said and done, made him waste a little bit of time. Sure, he wasn't really doing a whole lot top lane. He was actually farming the jungle, so he's level 5. But just forcing that reaction is always going to be really nice on the side of QPAD.
And we just checked the last hits.
Bottom.
TC. Yep, currently 23 is Fluff and Stuff. Gets last hit on Select. So Select, unfortunately, not having the best start on his clock. But the farm, once again, between TC and Wagga, absolutely even as it was last game. And we'll see what items are going to go for this time round. Bulba up the top as Korok picks up the haste rune. Bulba actually quite high on levels for offlane, just because of he was involved in that kill on Select. Had some time in jungle as well, so he's going to be able to kind of assist if there's any kind of pressure again to come out from Red Pandas.
It seems like Liquid really favor just efficiency over all else. That's why they have their tri-lane and defensive positioning, allowing your supports to pull. Having somebody who can actually go to the offlane or just jungle. Sure, a lot of offlaners can do that nowadays, Darkseer, Nature's Prophet being two of the primary that you're going to see in that role. But just having the potential to be wherever you need to be, whenever you want, is incredibly underrated, I feel. And that's why other heroes like Keeper of the Light are so highly valued. It's not so much because Illuminate is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but being able to just get into the fight, not have to waste time walking all the way across the map. We spoke a bit about how the supports moving
Smoke
really
again.
hurt.
Mid.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Looks like they're kind of just walking around, though.
Yeah. And that's an observer ward, so they won't be spotting. And actually, Jarek's looking to just clicked on IX Mike, wants to go. And they might know. Yeah, and they are going to react to this. Fluff and Stuff TP's in. He was farming jungle prior to this. And nothing will come of the situation, so Mini and Jarek will just kind of back off. So far we just got the carries farming, and there looks to be a lot of attention on mid. Mingles, hello, thank you for stepping on my keyboard.
Well, thankfully nobody can actually see that, so we have a dedicated observer, so instead of the camera randomly moving, Scriff is still actively watching what's going on. But TC just left completely alone. WAG is actually pretty much tied in terms of overall farm, so they're both really, really close together. And Faceless Void decides to go for a Midas, whereas TC has gone for the Tranquil Boots, probably into a Quick Drum. It's a really, really standard build that you're going to see on Luna on a lot of these times. And he's got max rank of his Lucent Beam, and he does have a clip, so if they do want to try to take a fight or dive Select here, they can do that.
Yeah, Smoke Bottom as well. IX Mike, Fluff and Stuff looking to go on Select, and Select is only level 3 as well. He's actually getting the worst of this game by far. Bulba, level 5, might be level 6 on this. They are going to TP in to kind of chase. Jarek's looking to go onto the Veno. He's going to take a lot of damage from these tree ends. Sing's going to be here as well. That Veno not going down anytime soon as Fluff and Stuff stuns out Sing. He should be able to chase and get the kill. There it is. How do you rate that reaction? It's not over yet though, as Wagger's here. Gets RP'd, skewered, and taken down by Korok. That's a huge kill. As Wagamama did have, of course, his ultimate available, didn't get to use it, and there's another one as TC and Fluff and Stuff team up. So I was going to say, how was that kind of trade-off? But we all know now, Team Liquid got way the better hand out of that.
Well, when the fight started, Bulba teleported in behind the tower. It was a 4 versus 1. Clearly, Select had absolutely no chance of living through that. The Eclipse wasn't even used. So TC still has his ultimate if they want to keep doing this. And again, really big reaction out of QPANDAS, but they basically all teleported into death. They got almost nothing accomplished. I mean, what? They killed Veno, and that's it. So,
and it took him a while as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying about Gale is, sure, defensive supports are great, but they're only good when you're trying to disrupt a hard stun. If you get a debuff on you that makes you run incredibly slow, tank treants, and auto attacks from a Nature's Prophet, the disruption doesn't really give you any time. You're still pretty much going to die, and that's why Venomancer is such a fantastic pick against the hero in general. So I feel like the early game Liquid always had the advantage just because they can play the aggressors here. When Wagga gets more farm, that's when QPAD is really going to start shining. Solo Sphere on Korok here.
Wagga going for Korok, and Sing's actually going to come in, and Sing will get the kill and go on to a killing spree. Nicely done. I mean, they needed to do something with the situation. I doubt they're going to need to use that Chronosphere for a little while. I'm pretty sure that the bottom tier 2 should be safe with Clockwork down there, who's almost level 5 now as well, and of course Power Cogs is going to disrupt any kind of big attempts. Sing actually going once again aggressive, finds IX Mike with Mini, and they are going to get the kill on him as well. Sing is now dominating. Bulba, not enough mana to hold Sing in place. Even if he did, he would be able to ball Lightning away. So 2 nice counter kills from Red Pandas, despite a really good amount of kind of pressure and team play from Team Liquid on the bottom tier 1 tower, and of course that tower went down. But how much have they done to bring that back in their favor, the game so far in these early stages?
Just buying time for Wagga is going to be enough. Oh man, Select not having a good game.
Come on, Select. Just use your cogs for the sake of using them. It'll be fun. So there you go. Now you feel good about yourself.
Well, if they're paying so much attention to the bottom lane, that just gives time for Wagga to sit up here. Make sure that his Midas is going to eventually pay for itself. It does give you some bonus experience too. So he's level 8. He's actually going to be level 9 relatively soon. And I'm not sure if he's going to go for the Maelstrom build that he did yesterday, or if he's going to favor going for a BKB. I feel like even though you're playing against a mag and BKB is not great against things like reverse polarity, you don't want to get chain disabled by a Lion and eat a full Eclipse, and of course Poison Nova damage coming out from the Venos. So it's probably going to be necessary for him to go BKB, and when he went BKB before, he actually opted to go for Mask of Madness into just straight up physical damage. So
select.
Yep.
He's not used to playing against 5 people. He's a StarCraft player. It's normally a 1v1 game. It's just very confusing for him right now. But Fluff and Stuff is just going to get so rich off this. He's already got Arcane Boots. He's sitting on 600 gold as well. So that Lion support has really done his job in terms of just being able to be in the fight. Mid-tower it was when he able to assist in some kills. And of course, just destroying Select. On that off lane. And here they go. They're going on Mini. There comes the stun. He's going to go down as well. Korok skewers in. Doesn't need to use reverse polarity, but that also kept the other members of QPAD Red Pandas away. So QPAD Red Pandas kind of reply with 2 after the big fight, but then lose 3 kills. And Team Liquid want the tier 1 tower.
Really nice movement out of Liquid. Select really needs to be a little more cautious. It is nighttime, so it's harder to see lane ganks like that coming, but if you can't see anything, you're better off just playing safe. No reason to give away 2 kills for nothing. He's actually accounting for half of his team's deaths. He's 0-5. So I think to say that he's having a bad game is putting it a little bit mildly, just kind of getting demolished here. But Liquid, just with the better movement right now, they know that the Void late game is going to be a problem that they're going to have to address, and the way that they're going about it is instead of potentially getting sphered while ganking the Void, we're just going to crush the other lane so hard that it makes the Void either have to come to the fight or sacrifice the rest of the map control that they currently hold. So if Liquid keep playing this way, I think they have a very good chance of taking the game. But again, the more time that QPANDAS can buy, the better it's going to be, because that Midas will eventually come into play.
And just checking some of the items, Bulba also had his Midas. You can see that Manta style is what TC is going for. And we have 2 Arcane Boots, 1 on Fluff and Stuff, and also on the Magnus. So looking very healthy right now, Team Liquid, and they are looking to push that tier 2 tower top. But QPAD Red Pandas in position. We've got Mini and Sing behind. Select. He's amazing at baiting, as he might actually survive this, and he will be able to get away. He's actually going to ulti just as teammate, and Mini's going to take a huge amount of damage from Bulba's ultimate on Nature's Prophet. So QPAD survive, but they're sent back to base. Is that a waste of time for Team Liquid, or did they, is it okay?
It's okay, considering everyone from QPANDA has to go back too. I mean, Sting doesn't have any mana, Mini and Select are pretty much dead. They have to go back to base. TC's still able to sit in his lane and farm, although Wag is farming. I would say, everything considered, it was kind of a wash, but in the sense that Wagga late game is going to be, I think, a little more threatening than what a Luna can do, that it's better for QPANDA to waste the time to just extend the game as long as they can. And of course, he still hasn't been pressured. He's sitting at the highest in terms of overall CS right now. He's almost tied with Luna on net worth. But the other issue that QPANDA have right now is that the Furion is almost neck and neck with their Void. And that can be an issue too, because if you get Bulba with a Hex or an Orchid or anything like that, then you have the potential for your Void to just get crowd controlled out of the fight and just get bursted.
Especially with a Lion as well, and even if, I mean, there's a lot of emphasis on it. It looks like, yeah, maybe item choices later, but also the lineup that they really can shut Void down. Now, they are going to go for a smoke top, Team Liquid, towards Wagga. They haven't actually gone through the lane, so they will be spotted by this sentry, but they're just looking to get a kill on Jerax. But he's going to be able to walk away.
Sing up here, looking over, just making sure that nothing else is going to be coming out of the side of Liquid. So right now, it's a little bit awkward, actually, as we're going to see Sing go onto Fluff. Not sure if that's the best call. Here comes Wagga, though.
All right, here it is. Wagga's going to open, takes out Fluff and Stuff. Sing just kind of elevated in the air right now. So they're looking to come in, but unfortunately misses. Jerax going to go down here to Korak, who's just kind of playing with him. Doesn't need to use the RP, of course. And there is the Eclipse. And Bulba TP's in. That's going to be the end of Mini once the Eclipse happens. And Select actually gets pushed away, but then it comes the RP from Korak. And he'll be picking up Select. So 3 members down for the exchange of a Lion. Not exactly what QPAD Red Pandas wanted, but Team Liquid once again showing that their dominance, that they'll see Bulba also heading towards his Shadow Blade, which he had last game. And Sing's going to pick up a kill. I guess that was on Korak. No, it was on
IX Mike, just randomly in the middle of his opponent's woods. That's an interesting place to be. I get that he wanted to try to put up some vision. He actually put a Plague Ward up there, not even a real ward, and then just died. So maybe not the best use of his time in the entire world. But Liquid going to go ahead and push into the tier 1, and as you said, obviously a really good trade for Liquid. And walking in like that, putting yourself in the middle of a fight and throwing the sphere, and the sphere actually missed. Sure, Sing didn't end up dying, but the counter initiation came out from Liquid. They were all there when they needed to be. And again, the Prophet pick just seems to be working so well for them. Bulba just able to get into these team fights and make more kills happen. If the Prophet hadn't TP'd, Jerax might have actually been able to get away. But as soon as the Sprout comes out, Select tries to engage to help Jerax, and then you just have 2 more deaths.
Yeah, definitely. Bulba just coming in, as you mentioned, sprouting Jerax. That was the go for the Eclipse on TC's Luna. And of course, Korok did actually use his reverse polarity to shut down a kill on Select at the end. But just Fluff and Stuff having a great game so far. He's 5-1. Sing also on the counterpart for QPAD, Red Pandas also having a great game. But with that tier 1 tower down top, it's going to be a lot harder for Wagger to kind of find this farm. Potentially, it's going to be a lot more dangerous for him. And he's picked up a Gloves of Haste, so we'll have to see if he's going to turn that into a Maelstrom. But of course, you know, do you feel that he needs that BKB?
If he doesn't have a BKB, he basically has to rely solely on his initiation. And speaking of, they're going to be able to pick off Korok bottom lane. So Sing on the unstoppable streak. He's 6-0 right now. But I do really think that he needs a BKB, 100%. When you have range disables, even getting Lucent Beamed or Galed, just hexed, anything while you're inside of the sphere to stop the follow-up damage that you have is going to be really troublesome. And they might just try to gank him here.
Yeah, Wagger. No backtrack while you're hexed, right? You can't backtrack when you're hexed?
You can.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Either way.
You can't evade anything with the butterfly or dodge, but you can backtrack.
Yeah. Good kill on Wagamama. Definitely what Team Liquid were looking to do after taking down the tier 1 tower top, and that was Bulba being able to set that one up, of course with his Shadow Blade for some vision, or just being in place actually. Tier 1 tower bot will go down. First item on Storm Votes are up. Korok comes in, going to grab Mini. Mini still skewer and sends him back, going to push him away, but he will be going down. A kick in the back. That's just rude.
It's like a hoof in the back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those are hooves, right? So right now, Liquid, they end up losing a tower, so Sing gets a tower to kill. Not the end of the world to lose a support for that. Actually, an okay exchange. Question is, how soon can Wagga actually fight? He did end up picking up the Maelstrom, but they're not really able to do much. Oh, nice Sphere, gonna catch Fluff.
And that should be the end of him. Select actually looked like he went for a hook shot, but missed. But either way, Wagger will get the kill on Fluff and Stuff. So some welcome gold to the carry.
A couple of minutes ago.
Sing mid. Gonna pick up Korok. So much action going on here, Scriff. Are you okay? Can't talk.
Focused, man.
He's busy. And we do have the Manta Style complete for TC, as you can see. Also an Ogre Club as well. But what do you make of the situation of the game, Andy? I mean, where is the advantages coming from? And what are people waiting for, if waiting for anything, items or opportunities?
I think that Liquid are clearly ahead here, just an overall farm, net worth, map control, but what's really important is that the Faceless Void is still farming pretty darn effectively. He's still sitting even above the Nature's Prophet on the side of Liquid, and because of the fact that Bulba didn't go for the Rush Hex, he's going for Orchid after the Shadow Blade. He's going to do a reasonable amount of physical damage, but no one on the side of Liquid is really that durable outside of Luna. So it's going to take maybe one good sphere. The rest of the follow-up on QPAD outside of Select are all ranged heroes, so you can Soul Catcher somebody, you can get the Purge off, a decent Fade Bolt, some auto attacks from Sing. You can drop 2 or 3 people in a sphere, no problem. The question is, can the sphere actually hit enough important targets, and is Wagga going to be able to sit in the sphere completely uncontested and not get disabled? I think, again, delaying the BKB, I understand that he needs damage output right now, so his sphere is actually a threat, but if he gets disabled when the sphere comes out, the fight is pretty much going to be lost.
And then, so it's currently Team Liquid smoked up very close to Wagga. Fluff's going to come in. Is Wagga going to react in time? Doesn't matter. There's a blink and an RP. And Wagga does backtrack the ulti, but won't be able to survive. And Team Liquid get another kill on the Void. And they're going to claim Tier 2 top as their reward.
And there's no issue at all for them burning 2 ultimates for a Void when they know that there's no way they can defend a tower. Gives TC even more farm. He actually got the tower last hit too, so he's very, very close to his BKB now. And his ultimate is going to be very devastating in these team fights. Just as we were talking about Liquid supports being pretty squishy and most of the heroes in general. Same can be said for QPandas. I mean, Rubik, he has 700 health, and so does Shadow Demon. So relying on Disruption to negate the damage output of the side of Liquid isn't really going to work as effectively as I think they want. They're not relying so much on just pure hard disable to get kills, but they just have insane bursts. So between the Lion, the Shockwave, a Lucent Beam, the Nature's Prophet ultimate, that's enough to kill pretty much anyone on the side of QPAD if they coordinate it. And since their movement up until this point has been much better, there's really not a whole lot that QPAD has been able to do to react.
And Singh and Mini were looking to kind of hunt there, but didn't want to go too close to the tier 1 tower. Bulba already stood pretty far away and had a Shadow Blade, and it was TC and the rest of his teammates that were cleaning up the Ancients. So Wagger's just come back to get on the farm train as he's up top. Fluff and Stuff now has a Blink Dagger. This is where it gets really, really dangerous. And we talked about him having a great game earlier. He's got pretty much the item that he needs to really kind of be amazing on counter initiation. And they did see Korok and TC in the jungle down bottom. Let's see if Singh and Select want to do anything about it. Doesn't look like they do. Singh will pick up an invisibility rune. And Wagger up top is going to get Bulba. And there's the Blink, Fluff and Stuff, and Wagger. No one can react to this. He's all alone. Is he going to just get away? He might be able to. He's going to throw an ulti. I thought he might have done that first, but either way, ulti down. But he is going to survive, and that's way more important than giving up another kill. So, didn't want to give another kill even. So, nicely done by Wagger, but you can see how hard the game has got for him now.
Well, they're able to just focus him so heavily because the rest of his team, besides Singh, can't really do much. We're going to see Jerax get caught out here too.
Nicely done by Korak, good RP. I think the RP actually was stolen. In comes the Eclipse, and they are going to lose Select and Jerax. There is an RP on Mini. Singh's going to be there with invisibility. In comes the RP. Singh a little bit slow to react in this situation. In comes Wagger, doesn't have his ulti, going to focus down Korak. Singh's going to get stunned out. Is he going to go down? He's going to go down to TC. And Wagger did get his kill on Korak, but not having the best time. He's got 1 second left before he can jump. Not going to matter. He's going to go down as well. And IX Mike did die in that engagement, but Team Liquid once again come up trumps, 20-12.
Now suddenly using that Chronosphere just as an escape.
Yeah,
it wasn't such a good idea.
Feels really horrible.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens, though. When a team realizes that you've used your ace in the hole to win a team fight, then they can just force it and not really feel too much pressure themselves. And taking a split-up team fight is exactly what Liquid wants. In small skirmishes, their heroes are infinitely better. TC popped the Eclipse, just bursted Select down straight away. They knew that Wagga wasn't going to be able to sphere. They managed to pick off Singh, and Singh initiated, like you said. It was a little bit slow with the follow-up, but I don't even know if they would have been able to kill TC regardless. He's still pretty darn tanky. He didn't even pop his BKB. That's how confident he was that they were going to win that fight. He basically just sat on it. So even when you don't die on the carry, in Void's case, if you're able to force out his ultimate, you can make things happen as long as the rest of your team is on the same page and you can just coordinate whatever fight or push you want to.
Alright, IX Mike with the haste. Select, from his bad start, is still going towards his mech. He's only got the headdress right now. And it looks like Jerax and Mini really want to get this jungle secured. They know they can't let Wagga drop anymore, and they're going to have a hard time with Bulba and Fluff and Stuff just being such a dangerous combination to initiate with. And that Roshan still stands, so we'll see when Team Liquid are going to want to make a move on that. But so far, when you look at what Liquid want to do, where's their advantages and where do they want to extend them?
As it stands right now, Liquid are going to feel pretty confident taking any fight or even just pressuring Wagga again. And you can see what QPAD's reaction has been. They're just grouped up as 5. They are really scared. They keep making Wagga either run away or they keep killing him, and there hasn't been any reaction to it whatsoever. The first time we saw any was when they lost that fight. So Liquid obviously have the advantage in map control, even though they don't necessarily have the greatest amount of vision themselves. Just look at how scared their opponents are playing. They're all sitting in the woods right now, not effectively farming, not looking for anything, whereas they have TC still just running around in the jungle, running around mid, continuing to gather farm, and his net worth is starting to spiral out of control. He's now close to 5,000 ahead, actually is 5,000 ahead of the highest on QPAD, which is Void. So his farm is just getting farther and farther away, and once he gets tankier, he gets to the late game, he picks up his Butterfly Satanic, not even a Sphere is going to be able to save this team, because Wagga being forced into a BKB means his damage output's going to be inherently lower. He needs his team to follow it up, but where is that follow-up damage going to come from? Sure, they can add some with the Soul Catcher, the Purge damage, maybe a couple of Shadow Poisons and Sing, But that's it. There's no like big burst combination. It's more we're putting our eggs pretty heavily in the Storm Spirit and Void's basket, and I'm just not sure if they're going to be able to make it on those two heroes alone.
Yeah, and both those heroes are going for a BKB. You just saw moments ago, Fluff and Stuff and Korup just kind of hanging out top lane, just wanting Wagger to come back and make that mistake again. So we'll see if he does, but Wagger isn't buying up his BKB. Obviously, he's going to want to save maybe for a buyback just for the next initiation. Maybe when he can buy it up straight, he will. No one's interested in Roche just yet, but the interesting thing is that QPAD Red Pandas, they're behind on farm right now, and they're only really able to kind of farm mid lane a little bit just outside their base, top lane just a little bit, and everyone else is just following them around. On the other side, you've got Bulba farming great. Korak and Fluff have what they kind of need to be effective in the fights, but they are getting a little bit of farm. TC's taking the Ancients and also sending his Illusions mid. And even IX Mike is getting some gold. But here we go. It's going to be initiation top as Singh comes in on Fluff and Stuff, but he's going to back away. No one there to help him. No one close enough. And just going to scare him off. And down on bottom lane, Wagger will be defending the tier 2 tower, but he needs to kill those siege tanks. I'm going to call them that for select.
I just feel like...
And the tower goes down in the Radiant favor. Big kind of a...
Yeah, they didn't deny the tower, so a little bit of a bummer. I think at this stage, Wagga, he's going to have his BKB like really, really soon. The concern that I have is, A, he needs too many items. Like, he needs to be 6-slotted, basically, to be able to carry this game, because the way the game has been going up until this point. And B, with a Storm follow-up, instead of something like a Kunkka, they don't have the gigantic AoE impact that they were looking for previously. I think when they just get a Void, it's too much for the Void to really handle if you don't actually win your laning phase. And Void is a hero who isn't notorious for being a fantastic laner. We talked about his inherent weaknesses at the beginning of the game. Like, he doesn't really do anything until he at least gets 6, and then only if you have good damage follow-up in the form of ranged heroes, where QPAD really don't. So I feel like they've been a little bit outpicked here. Sure, if they manage to turtle it out, they can just get the Void as many items as he needs, and then ultimately he'll be able to carry the game.
But he needs that MKB now as well, and that's going to be so far away, because obviously Butterfly is now up on TC, but yeah, you're just saying that he's too far behind item-wise, so Liquid are just happy to farm up until they get what they want, which is obviously going to be an Aegis. They've taken all the tier 2 towers, and then they're going to go for high ground or look for picks.
I don't think that Team Liquid want to extend this game any longer than they have to. Sure, it's going to be a little bit of a worry pushing into things like Chronosphere and such, but with TC being so farmed right now, he's even farther ahead of Wagga than he was before. He's sitting at 7,000 net worth higher. That's almost doubling him up at this stage. If he gets the lifesteal, gets the Satanic, having to buy a BKB, that's the biggest problem right now that Wagga is struggling with. It's not like his farm is bad. His farm is actually quite good considering how much Liquid have been pressuring him. It's just the items he has to make in order to survive are making his carry potential weaker. So he needs basically the rest of his team to compensate for that. And Liquid's team overall is just doing better than theirs, so it puts him in a really rough spot.
And here we go. Some pressure potentially on the base here. We've actually got an Illusion Rune plus a Manta Style now on TC, just in case he wants to show off and spawn many of himself. But there's also a Ghost Scepter on Bulba as well. So they're just going to get the items they need to stop Void from being scary. Singh's still going towards his BKB, sits on 2,000 gold with an Orchid and an Ogre Club, so he's not too far away. And Select will get himself some well-needed farm at the tier 2 towers. He's going to want to get his mech up as quickly as possible, but Korok and Bulba are going to rotate round. I don't know if they know if Singh's here, but they know Wagger's here, and Singh's going to have to start backing away, and there's the Orchid, and Singh is left all by his lonesome. And Bulba will pick up the kill. TC and Korok will be involved, and Singh will go down, and that will delay his Orchid. And 52 seconds without him. He will have buyback available. But Wagger saw it earlier. He backed off, and, well, it looks like Team Liquid, with the momentum that they had in Game 1, they brought to Game 2. A little bit closer, though, but still, let's see what they can make with this push onto base.
I don't know if they can defend this. They do have Sphere, but really there are only 2 heroes pressuring the tower, and look at how much damage they can do. Just the 2 of them. TC doesn't even care. He's got his BKB. He's got 2,100 gold. He's perfectly content with having his Illusion Rune and his Manta up here, just beating on now the Naked Rax. They actually already used the glyph, so the next team fight could just decide if there's going to be a Rax or a DPG.
Oh, Korak! The health on Mini was just so much from TC's Glaives, and then Korak blinks in and takes him down. So no Rubik for this fight. There's a BKB. TC just wants the racks. Team Liquid want the racks. They get the racks and they get out, and making it look so easy here, so far ahead. And they've got the opportunity to go for Roche, and once again, yeah. QPAD never expected to win this matchup in terms of kind of reputation and results, being a newer team. To take one game is still pretty damn successful, but let's see what they can do at least with Team Liquid this far ahead. And I do think all eyes are currently now on Team Liquid just to kind of finish this one up. The fact that QPAD Red Pandas without Sing weren't able to defend, Mini got picked off, looks pretty grim. Well, just look at Waga's damage. He hits for 150. 150 damage a swing. TC hits for 350 almost. I mean, his damage output is just ridiculously high in comparison to what the Void can actually do. And a lot of that, of course, is because Waga got picked a handful of times. They lost the laning phase pretty hard, I would say. And the efficiency of Team Liquid's lineup, like we were talking about in Game 1 and 2, that seems to be their forte. They're able to just get the farm when they need it, have Bulba teleport to the fights, pick up extra kills, and just slowly but surely get ahead of their opponents. And the playstyle that they're using is working really well against what Pandas have been doing. And Waga, fortunately, going to go ahead and backtrack that Lucent Beam. And just free TPs everywhere, apparently, mid. Bruno, stop laughing. We have a poll so far, and apparently Select is the MVP of the Team Liquid's team as the fight does kick off. And Select will actually take down IX Mike, but Mini's going to get taken down as well. And you can see Waga, BKB up, TC uses his ulti, gets himself a double kill. There comes the Chronosphere from Waga, hailing as much damage as he can onto TC, and he will be able to take him out. That's Select actually with a double kill. So look, he just won MVP off that fight alone. You guys at home, you're just geniuses. You can see into the future. Orchid used onto Korak from Sing doesn't matter, as Waga will drop, and it's still a good fight from QPAD Red Pandas to take down TC, but it's yeah, not really exactly what they wanted the outcome to be. But of course they don't give away Roche. Bulba will live, Korak will live. I was trying to commentate a fight as well as read the poll. Sure, I did a great job. But what do you make of the middle engagement? Well, they ended up losing Waga, so killing TC, sure, that's a nice little perk. Not being able to give away Roshan is pretty neat too. But they need more than that. They can't just be willing to accept... I mean, they lost more heroes anyway. Yep. So if you lose the team fight, even if you're still defending Roshan, it's not really getting you back into the game. They need to get something better than that. They need to win a fight at Roche and then get something like an Aegis or win a team fight and push a tower. Up until this point, Liquid have lost one tower. That's the tier 1 bottom. It's 32 minutes in, and that just goes to show how little pressure QPAD have actually been able to apply to the team of Liquid in game number 3. They just have been getting outplayed everywhere. They got outlaned. There's just this sense of Waga needs every item in the game to carry it, and that's a problem. Like, it shouldn't have to be like that. The lineup, why I said it works so much better with Kunkka, is Sing as a Storm can really only do damage to one hero. He can really only isolate one hero and pick him, whereas a Kunkka can do damage to 2, 3, maybe even 4, if we saw the Empire versus QPAD game the other day. But Storm just doesn't have that same influence. Sure, he's a threat, but he's not as big of a threat as a Kunkka would be in the spot. And so banning him out, I think, on Liquid was really, really intelligent. And I feel like they knew that this would kind of be the outcome. If they were able to win the laning phase, the Void would have to go for a more defensive build, which would limit his damage output and then not be able to carry his team on his own, at least for a very long time. Yeah, so and we can also see Korak got his Perseverance now. So going for his Refresher Orb, and also TC going for a Satanic, had his Reaver a little while ago. There's the Morbid Mask as well. Waga is going to get some well-needed farm top. He's only got one Javelin on him at the moment. He's almost got his second Javelin, but he's still going to need a lot more to finish his MKB. And as you mentioned before, Team Liquid want to take their advantage now and do something with it now. So they're either setting up just to make sure they're able to take Roshan, or even potentially go for the tier 2 tower, but Roshan would be optimal. Once you have all the outer 2 towers, there's no reason to go for the base straight away if you can get Roshan. And since they have a Nature's Prophet, they can even sideline push, and he can be at the fight whenever he needs to. He even has a Scythe. So Bulba, Orchid, Scythe, has a Ghost Scepter, Shadow Blade, almost 6 slotted, and it's only 33 minutes into the game. He's actually still behind in net worth to TC, which is like mind-blowing, who's also incredibly close to his Satanic. So the last fight we saw mid, the damage from the Void was barely enough to kill TC, and that was with a little bit of help from Sing. Once he finishes up
the Satanic. If they don't kill him in a sphere, they're not killing him.
Yep.
There's just absolutely no way they're going to have the damage follow-up. So the sphere from Wagga has to be pretty much immaculate. Ideally, he would be able to finish his MKB before that time. Sure, when you're in the sphere, you don't get the evasion from the butterfly, which is nice. But if you don't have it for when the sphere is down, don't have the MKB, then you're just not going to be able to do really anything. And the counter initiation of Liquid now, they had a Blink Lion for some time. They have the Blink Mag, who's also working his way towards a refresher. This is going to be pretty problematic. Just the overall net worth of the team of Liquid is just so much higher than QPAD's right now.
Yeah, it looks like the Lion Fluff and Stuff could be going for an Ags.
Unseen, but not
So
unseen.
see if that's going to be the case. And Wagga, he had some available farm for him across the bottom lane, but decided he couldn't go there. They didn't know where Team Liquid were. They sent a rocket over to Roshan, didn't see him, and just kind of, just a lot of fear right now in the QPAD Red Pandas lineup. They know that they can't get picked. They know that they need farm, but every time they do, it's dangerous. They're getting scraps of gold compared to what Team Liquid are doing, and you can see there with the net worth in the top left, 23,000 currently for TC, and he's finished his Satanic, and this is where it's make or break for Red Pandas. And actually, Wagga's going to go in all by lonesome. I'm not sure what they can do in this situation. TC definitely not going down, and if Wagga goes down to TC, which he does, they are going to pick up Fluff and Stuff though. But TC uses the Eclipse from below. They've lost Select already. They've lost Mini. They've only exchanged for one. They now pick up Korak, but for the price of Sing. And it will be a 3-2 exchange. Checking buybacks. You're going to see buyback only available on Bulba. So that's Team Liquid are happy with this, man. They just had the fight brought to them. A couple nice kills, and then they get a Roche as well. Bulba's going to actually buy back and go straight to the base, and it looks like they want to finish this before Sing can get back up.
Yeah, that was a perfect example of, we have to take the fight. Like, QPAD couldn't let that go to them for free, so I understand the reason that they wanted to engage, but Wagga had no follow-up damage from the rest of his team. He engaged in a way that there was literally no way anyone could help him, maybe barring Sing, who couldn't even get close enough to get a pull because he would have been stuck in a sphere.
He also got stunned as well, I think, from somebody when Sing went in.
He went in at the high ground at the beginning of the fight, and he tried to get a pull off or something, but he just couldn't get in range, and then TC was only at like 60% when the sphere ended, and then he just auto-attacked back up to full with a Satanic, and like I said, if he doesn't die in the sphere, he's not dying. And it's just a case of Luna just being way, way too fat for them to deal with.
Well, they're still going to stay in this. They've lost the racks. Team Liquid only have one more racks to get for it to turn into Mega Creeps and GG, and I guess Red Pandas just want to take the last fights available to see if they can pull this one back. A lot of damage already on the tier 4 towers by the Ancient. And Team Liquid don't really need to go back. TC still has that Aegis. I'm just going to rotate round nice and easy up towards top lane. And let's check. Wagga does have his Chronosphere. Select is back up, but they need the perfect initiation. And Team Liquid know they can't allow them to have it. Which is why, Lion, Fluff and Stuff is nicely positioned to kind of counter-initiate on top of the Chrono. Korak is a little bit left behind right now. I think he might actually have his Refresher flying out. We can just check the Courier. And yep, there is a Refresher flying out for Korak. So this is most likely going to be a big stomp in favor of Team Liquid. But we'll see what Red Pandas can pull out. And if I was to ask you honestly, Andy, how's
They're
this going to work
man.
out? Yeah, okay.
They are fucked.
Finally, you say it. I got it out of you.
Well, I mean, it's the truth. TC, they couldn't even kill him one time, and now he has an Aegis and 4,200 gold, so...
There's one RP. Wagga's going to come in, select mid-hook shot, gets Chronosphere. There's the second RP, and Sing and Mini already going to go down. Select's going to get sheeped by Bulba. Korak's going to just send him out, just be like, you're on our team now. He's like, I was on your team from the beginning. Why do you think I gave him 5 kills? And Wagga, he's like, I will kill somebody. No, you won't. Although maybe he did get Fluff and Stuff. But there you go, GG. Team Liquid take this one 2-1. Kind of what people expected. Still a good performance from Red Pandas. I didn't think they were necessarily going to stand up. But game 2 was fantastic. But yeah, Team Liquid just showed dominance and what they've been doing over the past kind of tournaments with solid play, favouring just making sure they win on as many fronts as possible.
Yeah, I feel like QPAD could have taken Game 3 with their draft. It wasn't impossible, but the way that Liquid played it, it feels like QPAD just lost in the early game again. Both games they lost to Team Liquid. There was one game where there was really poor movement out of the 2 supports and Mini and Jerax in one of the first games, and they basically lost because they had a lone druid sitting in bottom lane versus a tri-lane who accomplished nothing, and the supports didn't do much, and they lost the game pretty much, in my opinion, at like the 10 to 15 minute mark. It was so hard to come back at that point. This game, I feel pretty much the same. If the supports or anyone else had done well, then I feel as though the Void would have had ample time to get enough items to become a threat. Sure, they ganked Wagga successfully a few times, but the Rubik, the Shadow Demon, I just didn't really feel a whole lot of presence. They managed to kill Select quite a few times too. So it was a situation of they lost a lot of advantage so early that it puts a huge burden on the Storm and the Faceless Void to carry the late game, and TC was just enormous in that Game 3. There was just no way that Wagga could outfarm it.
Yeah, his GPM was 801.
Yeah. Lots of farms, lots of creep kills. 373 CS and a 39-minute game.
Yeah, and Wagga's GPM was 416, so almost double going in favour of TC. So congratulations to Team Liquid, going to be taking that one 2-1 over QPAD Red Pandas, and of course we'll now put them as their first game in Group A of the tournament 1-0. So Bruno, what have we got? Anything?
Well, by talking to Sing last time, remember when they played that third game with the Faceless Boy, he wasn't able to get any farm at all at the beginning of the game. And when I talked to Sing about it, they said, well, it's fine if we don't get so much farm compared to the other team on that Faceless Boy, because as long as we're getting levels, we're getting the Chronosphere, we're doing something. If our supports are mobile enough to make things happen on the other lane, we will be able to actually make a difference. This time, however, that was not the case. The early game was pretty bad for the QPAD Red Pandas, and even though Sing got a lot of
Picks,
kills and enough money to actually buy an Orchid pretty fast, that was not enough, and in the end, the Luna and the Furion were too well farmed to actually be able to stop them.
Not only that, but the supports as well. Fluff had a blink halfway through Aghanims, and who else? Yeah, Ike's Mike. Not so much, but it was
truthfully, like as soon as they teleported, 2 or 3 people to the bottom lane, the tier 1, to try to help Select when he was getting dove, and they lost everyone. That puts your team in a horrible position. Yeah. Like, absolutely horrible. You need your supports to be contributing, not becoming a liability to the team. And I feel like that was kind of the story of all this whole best of threes. Basically, when they failed, it was because the supports weren't able to pull the weight. And when you have a game, like you were referring to yesterday, the game where the Void had low farm, but he was able to recover, that's because Jerax and Mini were awesome that game. Right. They roamed. They opened the space. They forced the supports of the other team to move to them instead of just having 3 heroes against 1 and saying, well, I can't do anything, and the supports are now under level because the roaming was useless. So in this situation, it was like Select got picked off a few times. Supports weren't able to really accomplish a whole lot, and then putting all your eggs in the Void basket just failed.
Yep. And from those picks, like the decision-making of that early game with Fluff and stuff, IX Mike and TC, like where they were looking for their kills, they got them, and they just got fat. Fluff and stuff was like 5-1, and then had a Blink Dagger, and it's like, well, now you have another person to worry about when you chrono, because he can instantly blink into position and do something, and Sing can't be looking for Fluff and stuff. He was actually focusing down IX Mike a lot to stop the ulti from coming off, because that was a much easier pick for his mana cost. But certainly, the Team Liquid played that great, the final game. They really punished Select. Unfortunately for Select, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to hate on him now. But
he was the MVP in that fight.
He was the MVP,
yeah. That's true.
He made the most happen for Team Liquid.
After the draft, and they already said Darkseer instead of Clockwork.
Yeah, I said Darkseer.
Yeah.
I
agreed. I was at the beginning.
I was like, because it's really, if you get a chrono and you vacuum people in, or you vacuum people then chrono, and your lane's going to be easier to kind of handle. You're going to get some farm at least. You got higher armor, so you can actually go jungle, and you can jungle better as Darkseer. So you could have just gone jungle for a little bit, come back to the lane, iron shelled that bad boy up. Obviously, they might have got focused down, but IX Mike and also Fluff and stuff were rotating a lot because Jerax and Mini were. So TC was alone down there for a lot of the time. So maybe Darkseer would have been a better choice than Clockwork, because Clockwork didn't offer much at all.
Yeah, think about this
There was
too.
not much synergy with that.
It was a Venomancer, a Luna. Damage output actually wasn't insane, and Gale is completely countered by one surge.
Yep.
And the only person who was able to teleport in was a Prophet, who you can counter by just carrying tangos. So who's to say if the Darkseer would have been able to die in those situations? What Select could only do is basically cog and go, well, I'm dead, because I got caught. Whereas the Darkseer might have been able to get away from it.
And I think Vacuum...
and the Ion Shell and Faceless Void inside the Chrono and
Iron
stuff
Shell,
like that.
Faceless
Small
inside
things
Chrono.
help out.
Yeah, I think the Vacuum really could have messed up with some of the supports, and I don't think Fluff and stuff would have got as big playing against a Darkseer.
Yeah.
So, you know, he would have been a little bit
Hindsight.
more squishy. Hindsight, it's amazing.
2020.
2020,
Yeah.
exactly. I never knew what 2020 means, but anyways.
Now,
It's an ophthalmology.
do you know what 2020 means?
No, I don't.
It's how, you know, the vision. Like
No,
how
I
they
know
wrote-
what it means, but I know why 2020. Why not 40? Or anyways, I was talking to Volvo recently, and he's going to have an interview with us
Yeah, sweet.
after the game. I don't know if you want to make a break now, and then we do the interview with Bova.
Bulba.
Yeah, Bulba.
Liquid Bulba.
Liquid Bova.
I'm not on Skype. I don't have him here. I mean, maybe Bruno comes take my
Yeah, but
place.
I mean,
We can go to a quick commercial break, and then we can bring Wepaz on for the interview. You want to be on?
No, but I got him on Skype, so he can use my Skype.
Ah.
No, we should tell them what to spell.
And
oh yeah.
And of course, that game went on really long, so Virtus Pro said they're unable to play. And we told them that this might go on a little bit longer because obviously we're starting at 7. So Mike, the head admin of adminness, is going to handle that situation. So unfortunately, Team Liquid won't have to play Virtus Pro tonight. And we told Virtus Pro that we might be starting like 10 to 10:30. So we'll see what happens because Mike's an asshole. He might just like give him a default loss.
Yep.
It's Mike. Don't fuck with Mike, man.
You
Who
can't
knows?
make him happy no matter what.
Yeah, he ain't magic.
No, he's
not
evil.
He's septic, Mike.
He's evil. Anyways, quick commercial break, and then we got Balva on call.
Yeah.
Sounds good? Cool. See you in a bit.